Thank you.
Senator Husted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of you for being here today. My wife is a physical therapist coach, so I know exactly how valuable they can be, because what I've witnessed as a former athlete and a coach, and also with a wife who was a marathon runner and into her 40s, and as a physical therapist, is that things build on one another. How an injury or a sore knee, you don't walk anymore. You maybe don't walk as much. You start to eat a little bit more. You start to put on a little weight. These things can really begin to compound on you, just like healthy habits can as well. And so I ask any of you who would want to respond to this, how do we reach people with this message? What are the most effective ways that you have found to help people understand that, hey, and at what age does somebody really have to start paying more close attention to the issues that will compound and then affect them and make it very difficult for them as they get older? And welcome all of you to comment or give your thoughts on that, how you reach people. What do we got to look at here?
I'll start. I mean, I think there's some simple educational materials, simple public service announcement type things. I mean, if I'm 57, I think when you're in your mid-50s, you probably need to start thinking about this. It's not 65, because you're starting to lose balance. You're starting to have, your body changes physically, as we all know, as we get older. Not only can you not see very well, but your joints don't move as well, and you get other problems.
Yeah, the effects of gravity do, for some reason, get a lot worse as you get older, right?
So. No doubt. So, I think if you give it just some simple stats, I mean, there's a stat that's pretty well documented that a simple physical education treatment program, so doing balance training, fall prevention, and not falling, probably adds 10 years to your life compared to not being physically active. So, if you have a simple public service announcement that says, hey, if you're physically active at this level, you're going to add 10 years to your life. Think about all the people taking all these supplements and doing all these longevity courses and all these things to try to live longer. That's the simplest method to live longer. I think we just have to educate people.
This becomes important very early, Senator. We know through studies that something we call sarcopenia, or loss of muscle mass, starts at between age 35 and 40. And it goes 5% a year. So we really need to start earlier. We also know that through some of the tests, which are older tests in the 70s from Dr. Robert Bruce, that what we call VO2 max, okay, for the most important muscle, the heart, okay, and how we develop energy through our muscles, that starts to decline also. And the good thing is that decline can be improved and reversed till about age 70. And then it's very difficult after that to reverse much of the aging process to the heart. So inactivity is bad, but we also know that someone who's very sedentary, the people who make those first steps into activity get the greatest benefit from being active. Now, the steps become, a little more incremental as you go up, but it's just that first movement from sedentary to any kind of activity. And when I have sometimes students or residents, I tell them that you have to listen to your senior patients, but you also, have to be a motivational speaker. Okay, you've got some answers for them. You just got to convince them that they need to do it.
Sorry, can I just add quick? We use this phrase all the time, sitting is the new smoking, and we sit so much. Even as a professional athlete, you sit all day in meetings, practice for 2 hours, but getting up and VO2 max training is very important. But zone 2 training, power walking, a brisk walk is very important, I think, for someone in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Having that foundational piece is super important, and doing that in groups, messaging, but also as friends, make that normal. Right now, sitting all day is normal. Make power walking normal. That's the advice I would give my friends.
I would agree with much of what's said now.
it's very exciting for us when we're able to take a more upstream approach, when we're able to reach people before they have diabetes or before they have COPD and be able to work with them on the kinds of behaviors that will prevent that. It's very exciting when we get to work with family caregivers and the older adult and see the family caregiver say, gosh, I'm 40, I'm 50, now's the time for me to start this physical activity so I can be more independent as I age. At the same time, we are coming across folks who are in their 70s, in their 80s, and even in their 90s that are looking for ways to be physically active, but they have chronic pain, so they worry that physical activity is going to exacerbate that. We're able to have those community health workers and case managers sit with an older adult who thinks they can't exercise and talk to them about what is important to them, not what's the matter with them, but what matters to them. And I remember an individual named George who diabetes, COPD, chronic pain, did not feel like he could do anything. But his case manager talked to him and said, well, what's important to you? And he said, I want to play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to have that relationship with them that I had with my grandparents, and I can't do that now. And that was the trigger to say, well, let's start with this walking class. Let's start with bricks walking. Let's move on from something there. So even though our goal is to reach people on the upstream, there are still many powerful ways for us to encourage and support traditional older adults who want to be physically active.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Apologize.